Hey Rufus, another day, another video. Back to the old YouTube grind, you know? So, what kind of word do you want to talk about today? What are you thinking? People do like animals, that's right. Okay, let's do an animal word then. Rufus, what's your favorite animal? What's that, some kind of cephalopod? Is it the kraken? Octopus? Oh, well, that's an easy one. I mean, you don't really even need to dirty the blackboard for that one. Octo means 8, and puss means foot. It's got 8 feet. I mean, look at it. What else would you call it? It's an octopus. See you next time. What? We did the word. Our work is done, Rufus. Time to go home and relax. Unless I've missed something? Oh, right. What do you call a bunch of them? Well, that is interesting, isn't it? Okay, blackboard. Tell you what, let's ask the audience before we do the big reveal of the answer. Here are some possible answers to the question, what's the plural of octopus in English? Which ones do you think are the correct forms? Yell your answers at the screen now. Rufus, which one you think is the right one? Interesting, idiot. So, what's the right answer? Well, let me first explain why there's any confusion about the plural of octopus in the first place. It all comes down to what language you think the word octopus comes from. If you think it's an English word, then the plural should follow English rules. Just slap an ES on it. If you think it's a Latin word, then the plural should follow Latin rules. The US becomes an I. If you think it's a Greek word, then the plural should follow Greek rules. We don't need to get into the weeds about third declension Greek noun forms here, but it would be this. So, the etymology of the word can save us. What language is octopus? Well, let's first dismiss the Latin hypothesis. Octopus is in no sense a Latin word, although it definitely looks like one. In fact, there's evidence of this confusion since at least 1834, so this is a well-established and long-standing mistake. I think the main reason that octopus gets mistakenly analyzed as a Latin word is that Latin is just much more widely learned than Greek, so people who encounter the word don't even consider the possibility that it's not a Latin word, even though it seems to have the form of one. After all, English is full of actual Latin words that look like octopus. Alumnus, stimulus, cactus, radius. These are all borrowed Latin nouns that pluralize by changing the US to an I. Furthermore, octo just happens to be the Latin word for 8, so it's no wonder many people look at octopus and generate the plural octopi on analogy with other words that look like it. Octo also happens to be the word for 8 in ancient Greek, which fewer people seem to know. But wait a minute, what's Latin for foot? It's not pus, it's pes, plural pedes. So if you wanted to make the word 8 foot in Latin, it would be octopes, plural octopedes. So let's look at the Greek possibility. I've already heavily implied that octopus is a Greek word, but is it really a Greek word? I mean, did the ancient Greeks call an octopus an octopus? The answer actually is no. That word does actually occur in ancient Greek texts, but not in reference to the animal. Aristotle writes extensively about animals like the octopus in his History of Animals, and the word he uses there is not octopus, but palupus, which just means many-foot. This word, incidentally, is where the English word polyp comes from. Long story, not nearly as interesting. Octopus, then, isn't really a Greek word either, since the ancient Greeks didn't use it that way. That is to say, we don't call it an octopus now because the Greeks called it an octopus 2,500 years ago. So that just leaves the last option, octopus as an English word. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the first attestation of the word octopus in English is from 1759 in the Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society of London, in which the text, the polypus, particularly so-called the octopus, appears. Now, it's not as though the word was conjured out of thin air and just happens to look like a Greek word. Whoever first attached the word octopus to the 8-footed sea creature clearly constructed that word from Greek elements. So in my view, octopus is an English word derived from, rather than borrowed from, Greek, which means that it's perfectly normal to treat it like an English word. 1 octopus, 2 octopuses. We'll talk about linguistic prescriptivism and descriptivism some other day, but my analysis so far is very much prescriptive, determining the answer by looking at rules and conventions. A descriptive analysis, however, would come to different conclusions. A descriptivist would look at how people actually use the word, And if lots of English speakers think the plural of octopus is octopi, then dictionaries should make a note of that fact, even if it's a quote-unquote wrong form. I'd like to note here, and this is funny, that dictionaries also list the Greek plural form, the one spelled like this, as a form in use. How would you pronounce this word? If we treated it like an English word, we'd say octopodes, which I actually kind of like. But these are the given pronunciations for that word in the Oxford English Dictionary. Now, I know that many of you probably don't read IPA format, but all you need to know is that the apostrophe goes before the stressed syllable. So this word is octopodes, like it's a Greek god descended from Mount Olympus to fight the Hydra or some shit. Octopodes. I love it. Anyway, here's the final score. Octopuses, octopi, octopodes. All right, anything else before we go, Rufus? F you.